The critical voice, that inner critical voice, can be very limiting. It can be very, and that can be tied to lack of value, self-worth, those limiting beliefs that keep you chained and stuck. You probably work with a lot of people who are stuck, right?
Yeah.
How do you help them get unstuck?
We name where they're stuck. Sometimes it takes a little while to get there, but I'll say, what is holding you back here?
Yeah.
What's the feeling? Where are you feeling it in your body? Our bodies express. Lots of times we feel it in our body.
Those are warning signs. Yeah.
The other thing is, lots of times if we can't get beyond the thought, I ask them to give me the opposite. So let's reframe everything here.
Right.
So give me the opposite thought. I do this in group meetings, sometimes with planning. They're stuck. I'll ask someone, I'll say, stand up, turn around, walk the opposite direction, write the opposite feeling or the opposite thought on the wall or on the flip chart.
Yeah.
And then, how do you feel about that? And they come back re-energized about what it is they can do. So our thoughts really affect how we feel about something, and how we feel about that's how we behave, and then we get the same outcomes. If we can change the thought and change something that's healthier for us, that opens up ourselves to possibility and new things, it changes the feeling. There's something freeing about that. What changes our behavior and changes the outcome. And the bottom line is, how do we change the outcome?
Very important, right?
Yeah, so it's walking people through that process. So someone may sit and say, they're reframing and it's still negative. And I say, it's still negative. Give me more. Keep coming back. Give me more. Give me more. And then they get to that point and you say, how does that feel? And it's like, wow, is it true? Can that be true for you? And if so, how are you likely to act on that? Again, action is really important. It anchors the feeling and the thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible, really.
Yeah.
It's like a transformation that happens before your eyes.
There's so much great work going on in brain research now that it's really changing the neural pathways. I look at, our conditioned thinking is we're walking through the jungle, or, you walk a path if you're a hiker, and you've got a path you follow all the time, and you know it, and that's exactly where our head goes.
Right.
Whenever we're exposed, we're triggered to do that.
Yeah, it's like a comfort zone.
Yeah,
it's what we know.
It's just what we know. And so part of the changing and reframing the way we think is, how do we create a new pathway? So I got to get my machete out, and I'm going to have to start hacking away at bushes, and I'm going to have to do it for a period of time.
Carve a new road. Yeah.
And now I train my brain to go this way, not that way. And that's so much of what coaching is about. It's like, Jim, we all have choices. We forget we're making choices every day. And the choices we make so many times don't serve us well, and we don't even think about it. So most of what's happening in our lives are the choices we've made. Don't like it? Change the choice.
That's it. Yeah, and sometimes that may be scary for some, and
it is.
People are like, I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
But it's a great thing. How do you work with people who are fearful and resistant to change? They fear change. They know they need it, but they fear it.
There are times when people come into coaching that you can't, it's maybe one or two instances where I can't coach them out of it. They're just not going to let go. And that's, again, could very well be tied to something much more traumatic.
Yeah.
But it takes time. You've built a lifetime behaving this way. As a child, this is what you learned, and it's become, this is our pattern.
Yeah.
This whole thing is about breaking the pattern. And so it takes time, and you don't do all of them at once. What is coming up for the client? I don't lead that. What's coming up for the client? Where is the greatest pain? Where are you seeing emotion? I've had probably some of the most fascinating and wonderful things to watch when I've been in a meeting with a client, and we've been coaching and things are really moving forward, but they have an idea of where they want to go, but they don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
And sometimes they can't even tell you what it is or what it looks like. I have them close their eyes. I said, I want you to engage every sense. You're touching, you're smelling, you're seeing. Close your eyes. We take them through a brief meditation. What do you see? Who are you here? And so many times they have the answer that they've never been able to say. And they come out of it crying because they'll say, I never saw this before. I've never said this out loud. I had no idea. And it's like, okay, now let's get to work.
It's like a revelation.
Yeah. So a lot of trust there to let that happen, and a lot of time going to building that trust, and a lot of respect back and forth.